Who do you think you are, John Cole? You stupid ref. You wouldn't let me use a chair in a match that I could have been disqualified. You're being a big fat meanie. I want a referee that's gonna give me my pound. Please, please, John Cole being a big fat meanie. I need to have a referee to hand me my belt. Boring.
So, I've been saying for a few weeks now, I feel the biggest reason why Raw has been so atrocious, especially since Money in the Bank, well, even like during the both Money in the Bank, Raws were not that great. But Raw was absolute trash, of course, before Super Showdown, or Super Shitdown, as we all call it. So I thought, okay, maybe since Super Showdown is now in the rearview mirror, a lot of people are upset and apparently not happy about this show Backstage, especially with that main event, with the rude altercation of Taker and Goldberg. I started to wonder, maybe things will get just a little bit better. Even though, we have 2 more B pay-per-view shows to get through till SummerSlam. We've got, in less than 2 weeks now, Stupid Grounds. And we got Extreme Rules, even though last year was mostly standard rules. But of course, what was I kidding me? This show was still not that great. I mean, just a couple little things I can say. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But most of the show, still hot garbage. Especially the theme of the show. The biggest story coming out of this whole show is the whole reason why the Universal Championship is happening. Well, the Universal Championship match, the same match we got at Super Showdown, we're getting it again at Stomping Grounds. And why? Because Baron Corbin is a typical crybaby. It just goes, this person's being a big old meanie, basically. And that's all I got tonight out of his promo tonight. And the stipulation for the match at Stomping Grounds. And a few other things that just bothered me tonight whatsoever in this episode of Raw. There's a few things that I'm like, all right, whatever. Which is why I was fair to give this Raw a complete F again. I gave it a little bit of a higher grade. Not a passing grade. Well, depends on what major you're taking. Well, not really a passing grade, in my opinion. Just what I gave. So, guys, what is going on? This is the Club the Man X93. I am here live to give you my live review of Raw from the June 10th, 2019 edition of Monday Night Raw. That took place, of course, in San Jose, California. This is the fallout show from Super Showdown. And, we're now just focused now solely just on Stomping Grounds. Stupid name, as always. Check the live chat, see who's here. We've got Tyler saying this show is shit and F for fuck the wildcard rule and Vince and Triple H be charged. We all know that for sure, Tyler. So let's get rolling with this show. We open up with Seth Rollins coming out. And we see a recap of what happened at Super Showdown. Rollins says he feels alive because we've entered a new era for the Universal Championship. It's an era of choice, and the locker room has 3 choices. They can either come out here and try to out-wrestle him, but not a person on the planet can lace his boots. They can try to fight for it, or they can try things the hard way. And ask Brock Lesnar how that works out. Lesnar has been in WWE since 2002, but no one has ever done to him what Seth did to him last Friday. Friday! I'm going to cash in on Friday. And guess what? You didn't, Brock, because you got your ass whooped. You sick little son of a bitch. And of course, you hear Rollins call him and the beatdown at Super Showdown. Of course, I did watch the highlight from that beatdown. I did watch Super Showdown. I watched the highlight from that. And I had to watch the highlights from the end of, the Universal title match because of, trying to make sense as to why Baron Corbin, once again, is getting another Universal Championship shot at Stomping Grounds. Of course, Stomping Lesnar. I mean, Seth Rollins really whooped the hell out of Brock Lesnar with that steel chair on Friday, from what it looks like. So he says it felt pretty good to land a chair at him over the head, and he's going to leave him in a heap in the middle of the mat and whatnot. But then out comes Baron Corbin, who was getting a lot of boos, and he started pausing before wait. He starts running down San Jose. Tell Rollins that you can keep talking about Lesnar, but you should be worrying about him because he'll need to worry about Brock Lesnar because he's going to be Universal Champion after Seth. But Seth's like, well, how did Stomping Grounds work out? And Corbin says, you didn't beat me, and you know it. It was incompetent official John Cone that cost him the match. Why? Because he didn't let you use a chair on Seth Rollins? You wouldn't have won the title anyways. So because of that, but I was once acting general manager, so I have some connections. I put my, great communication skills to the test. John Cone was being a big old meanie, so at Stomping Grounds, I want to have a special guest referee, and I get to choose. I'm going to do the interviews, the communications, and you see why people can't take this man seriously? Like, what was different about Baron Corbin before he failed that Money in the Bank cash-in? He was a dominating monster who had some truth behind his promos, which is what makes heels more effective when they have some truth, not running away from fights, trying to, pick the fights and, just look like a smart-looking villain, basically, like he was doing on SmackDown before he lost his Money in the Bank briefcase. When all his men got cut off, just like that. Now he's just a whiny little guy. Well, he's a whining big man who the crowd just can't take seriously because all he is this person's being a big old meanie. That's all I'm getting out of him, especially his promo. So now the stipulation is at Stomping Grounds. They're going to make this match different because, Corbin had unfair officiating. Yeah, because he was whining to John Cone because he couldn't use a freaking chair. So now we have a special guest referee, and Corbin gets to choose. Don't care. Boring. And of course, Seth said, but you have no friends and whatnot. But out came Sami Zayn. He comes out and says, I'm on Team Corbin. I've known Seth for a long time. I care about him as a person. His behavior the last couple of months has shown that being champion isn't good for him. He's so caught up with this whole Brock Lesnar thing and just caught up in him and how fragile his ego is now. So he thinks that Corbin would be a better champion because Rollins is too focused on Lesnar. Why wouldn't Rollins be focused on Lesnar? He knows Lesnar's lurking around. He's just being smart. He's making Sami look stupid as always. So if Corbin should know, they wouldn't have a champion who's obsessed with Brock. And Sami tells Seth that he hasn't fooled anybody. But Sami says that Corbin would help a person who hypothetically helped him out in return, to which Rollins congratulated Corbin on finding the one idiot in the room who'd have his back, but wonders who'll have Sami's back. And now came our first wild card of the evening, Kevin Owens, who's like, but I got Sami's back. But Seth tells Kevin to come down, though, and do something about it because, you're being mean to my friend up here. So then Seth's doing something about it. So then they basically set up our main event, which is a match with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. All right. Sound fine at first until something else got added to it. But once again, yeah. So our Universal title match is being based on a story of John Cone was being a big meanie. His son's more famous than me. I need to have a referee in the match. Bullshit. Then we have another wild card in Lars Sullivan taking on the Lucha House Party in a handicap elimination match. Because he got disqualified in the 3-on-1 handicap match at Super Shutdown. And he won. That's all I can say. He won. He took out each member one by one, and that's it. And this was stupid. R-Truth and Carmella are lurking around backstage obviously worried about losing a 24/7 title. I guess Carmella was another wild card. I guess I don't know if they count her. That was a wild card. But then he's being chased. He's cornered, but then there's no referee. Then they manage to get to an elevator and, hide before a referee can get, in the picture and get nearby. But of course, as before everybody got in the elevator. But then the elevator got stuck. And the story of the night was everybody was stuck on the elevator. And we're all becoming best friends, talking about Drake Maverick sweating. R-Truth kept calling him Hornswoggle. Carmella playing this game where you can only talk if you're holding her hat. Like the Lex Man said, is this a bunch of buffoons? That's all I feel like. Why is this 24/7 title once again only being used by a bunch of low card wrestlers? Low card wrestlers, people who really are being given nothing to do right now. EC3, who looks freaking miserable when he comes out. Because I saw a video comparing him of a year ago. A year ago, he came out looking energetic and into his entrance. Then someone showed an entrance recently. He was on an episode Main Event, and he was just like going through the motions. You can tell the man is not happy. Even when you see him on TV, he looks miserable. He looks absolutely miserable. And Cedric Alexander, yes, I do know you can still wrestle. I did retweet that tweet he posted before I went live. You can still wrestle, my friend. I told you face-to-face at WrestleMania Access, you can definitely be a world champion. But nope. You took him off 205 Live, put him on Raw, just to put him in the catering. Way to go, WWE. That was a joke of the night. Of course, eventually, we learn a lot about each other. We like each other. We are family. Elevator door opens. Everyone wants to kill Truth, but he gets out of the way somehow. So that's the gist of what all happened there. Oh, boy. So then we have this interview, this split screen interview with Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch. There's like a picture on Twitter, which I didn't want to, completely, put, some bad words into because I have family who follow me on Twitter and I want to be careful what I post sometimes. But basically, like Lacey is a split screen image of Lacey Evans looking like, this is exactly what Vince wants. And then Becky Lynch is like, why the fuck do I have to wrestle this bitch again? Because once again, how did Lacey earn this title opportunity? Oh, I know why. Because she costed Becky her SmackDown Women's title. Once again, I got my blonde hair. I got my blue eyes. I got my big tits, Vince loves. Of course, we had Breast Express 2.0 taking on the champions later on. But first, we had this interview. Lacey tries to go first, but Becky points out saying that she should be beating her, being bigger and stronger and fresher, but she won't let her win because someone like Evans shouldn't be the one to represent the women's division. Exactly, because you just brought her up, had her just walk back and forth, and all of a sudden, boom, she gets a title opportunity. Once again, I got my blonde hair, I got my blue eyes, I got my big tits, Vince loves. So the suck on them. Just kidding. Well, it's kind of true. Anyways, Jordan Gold are found in the same place, but that doesn't make them equal. And the last time she got angry, she ran through everyone and made history along the way because being the champion is her obsession, but that's her specialty. She's relentless. Lacey just mocks hers and surrenders and says that Becky can't fool her. All the man stuff is bravado, and what drives her is an obsession with being champion, with fear of losing it all, sinking back down into obscurity, which, obviously they want to put the belt on Lacey Evans. And if they do that Stomping Grounds, that's basically going to happen to Becky Lynch. That's all that's going to happen. Just showing that, her WrestleMania moment was just a joke, in my opinion. At Stomping Grounds, that fear will come true, and Becky tells her to put her granny knickers on granny knickers, like a knickerbocker. I want to make sure I wasn't saying another word. Nick Kerr, like the New York Knicks, on, and she'll see her out there later. Because later on, we were having a tag match. And then we see Nikki Cross backstage with Alexa Bliss. And of course, once again, shows that they've taken Nikki Cross from being, crazy and unhinged to part of a little gossip girl clique. Because Alexa Bliss is trying to pull off the same shit she was saying about Bayley in 2017. Like, oh yeah, Bayley was rude to me in NXT. So that's all you have for the storyline. This lady storyline, again, with a Raw superstar challenging for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And you're basically doing the same exact thing as this last time. And Nikki Cross, once again, is just not, it's a different character because you're toning her down. And oh, Bayley said that. Bayley said this. Bayley is mean. So Nikki was in the corner for Alexa and Lacey, but she did nothing. And the match happened. Well, I'll skip to the match. Becky ran into Nikki in front of the referee, didn't call for disqualification, but Nikki Cross was like, obviously a babyface trying, because that awkward freaking angle. Oh my gosh. And then Lacey Evans wins after she knocks out Bayley with the women's right. So there goes Bayley, eating the pins as champion once again. Because they're all blonde, they got their blue eyes, they got their big tits that Vince just loves. So you basically grab the Alexa Bliss because there's no other blondes on SmackDown to wrestle for a SmackDown Women's title. I see how it is. When was the last time we even had a women's title match that didn't involve blondes? True question, huh? Well, maybe with Ruby Riott. That's my only guess. Who knows? Well, Ronda and Ruby in the Elimination Chamber, but who knows? But okay, so backing up a little bit, we had a segment. This was all right. This in the match was all right until the end of the match. We had a Miz TV segment with Samoa Joe. Joe comes out and interrupts Miz, telling him he's spreading the wrong narrative by calling him the new champion because Ray stole his title and he won it back. Miz questions the idea before showing footage of his victory for last week, puts Ray over for his honesty before asking Joe he justified putting the Coquilla clutch, to which Joe replies in the affirmative. Miz then asks about crossing the line of attacking family, which Joe says the lines belong to Miz when it comes to getting what he wants. No such thing as too far. He was under the impression that they were going to talk about the future challengers. But if Miz wants to cross the line, maybe he should be talking about his family, which, of course, is something that's been really built into the Mrs. Base character. Out comes Braun Strowman. And I'm like, okay, awesome. I've been waiting to see a Braun Strowman-Joe feud for sure. And for the U.S. title, fine. Braun, of course, as usual, he's looking for a challenger. Shut your mouth and get these hands. And then out comes Bobby Lashley saying, I'm not done with you yet, Braun. He has history with Joe, so if anyone deserves a shot, it should be him. Then we have Ricochet come out, who says after his victories over Cesaro, he wants to step up and win his first championship. Then Cesaro just comes out and sucker punch Ricochet and a brawl implodes. And then we have a 6-man tag team match. It was the face team of Miz, Ricochet, and Braun Strowman taking on a team of Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, and Cesaro. I mean, it's a fun, fresh, 6-man tag match. But, of course, the part that bothered me the most was the part that Samoa Joe ran away like Kevin Owens did from Braun Strowman. I just finished watching, of course, TakeOver. Well, the last TakeOver I finished was TakeOver Toronto for my TakeOver Abuse series. And just remind again, this is the same guy who literally beat the shit out of everyone until he got what he wanted. Nakamura or his NXT championship. And now he's running away just like Kevin Owens did from Braun Strowman. Yippee-yi-yay. That's exactly what he needed. But eventually, the face team win after Ricochet hit a 630 senton onto Cesaro. Other than that, I thought that match was pretty good. Backstage, we see Baron Corbin being interviewed, asking if he's going to take his time picking a fair, unbiased referee. And Sami asked him to talk with him in private and whatnot. Then we had that women's tag match I already talked about briefly. Then we had... Okay, here's why we're going to rant a little bit on Shane McMahon. Not just the fact that, I am starting to feel, especially because of how bad this feud with him and Roman has been and how now that's laying into the feud with Roman and Drew at Stomping Grounds. Of course, I'll talk about that when I get to that segment. But I agree. Started to feel like the Shane's been getting a little too much TV time lately. But this didn't quite make sense. Sami Zayn goes back and sees Shane McMahon. And, of course, mentions that, I know we don't see eye to eye all the time. Kind of, bring it back, okay. Sami basically gave Shane hell when he was on SmackDown. But he tells him how Baron Corbin needs a referee. So he was thinking maybe he could audition and be the referee in tonight's main event, given how slippery Seth is. But then Shane's like, okay, You can start small, though. Be the outside enforcer. Just make sure there's another set of eyeballs on the ring. When the heck has there ever been an outside referee? But of course, Shane turns it around, so it's his idea, and Sami tells him that it's a genius idea and shakes his hand and goes away. So once again, that's all Vince saying, an outside guest referee. Stupid. And also, here's the thing I had an issue with this segment also about Shane. Remember when Shane first talked about why he turned on the Miz, saying that he is tired of people coming up to him saying, "What can you do for me? What can you do for me?" And this is the exact same thing. Like, if he's, using other people to get what he wants, such as Drew McIntyre, okay. But even though that makes a little bit more sense. But of course, the fact that, it's just involved in a bad feud right now with Shane and Roman. But once again, why is he still, basically catering to people and helping them out when, he should be, for everybody, just use people just for his own benefit. I still feel like he's not completely doing that. But of course, Sami Zayn, deserves to get the favor he wants because he's a heel. And heels have to like heels. Faces have to like faces. Everyone just has to be best friends in their own dynamic. That is Rambling Rabbit about to get smashed with we'll wait till we get to that, the Firefly Funhouse. We have a segment with Paul Heyman basically talking about the beatdown that Brock Lesnar took at Super Showdown. But, you cheer for him because he beat down Brock Lesnar? Why? You all of a sudden realize you're jealous because no one likes your client, basically? He says, I'm not going to be no more Mr. Beast, and we're not going to tell us anymore when we're cashing in or whatnot. Again, just trolling around with us, basically just threatening, saying we're going to cash in whenever we want. Which, again, I don't give a single shit about because no matter what happens, I'm not going to be happy with it. We see more of truth inside the truth of the rest of people inside the elevator. Then, of course, we get the Iconics. The WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I can't squeal right now. Of course, saying that they are fighting champions, which is not true. They haven't defended their titles since they won them. They're demanding the toughest competition. After searching around, they found San Jose's finest. Lisa Lace and Aaliyah Mia. They squashed them. Who cares? They did absolutely nothing. Because once again, we're going to defend those damn tag titles. Against the Kabuki Warriors, against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Yeah, they went nowhere after last week. Just get rid of those women's tag titles. I do not care. We have a we'll check the live chat first before I get to this. Let me see here. The best then is the 24/7 title. Today's heels are bitches. Yep. Vince told we have Mr. Panther 365. Vince told Triple H that he will no longer be in charge of Raw or SmackDown. For real? When did he say that? Charlotte should face Bayley, not Alexa, which I kind of agree. No, I'm tired of Charlotte getting how many title opportunities. But yeah, thank you for a lot of chat, guys. So then we have this little celebration where Shane and Drew come out with a bagpipe entrance for Drew McIntyre. They're celebrating their victory over Roman Reigns. Of course, has the hype that Roman's a big deal. He has like a mule. He has victories over both The Undertaker and Lesnar, but he doesn't hold a victory over Shane McMahon. He gave his best, and it just wasn't his best to beat him, the best in the world. Drew McIntyre, give it up for him for preparing and watching so much footage and helping him based off of what he's done in his history with Roman. It's like he lost to Roman. He's always lost to Roman. If Roman and Drew had not had that feud for WrestleMania, then okay, maybe Drew helping Shane out would be beneficial to him. But once again, Roman's just going to beat Drew again at Stomping Grounds. So I didn't care about this at all. They have a little toast with pouring some champagne inside the Best in the World Cup. They invite the Revival to join them, but only if they win their match they're in tonight, which is the triple threat match for the Raw tag titles. Hawkins and Ryder have been on TV since they were squashed by the Viking Raiders. So Hawkins and Ryder taking on the Usos and the Revival, two teams that have, a victory against each other. So how on earth have they earned a tag opportunity? And why haven't the Viking Raiders faced them yet if they absolutely, squashed them several weeks ago for Money in the Bank? Well, of course, why would that happen? Because nothing makes sense anymore about how you earn title opportunities. The match was mostly the Usos and Ryder Hawkins in the match. And the Revival just tagged themselves in after they hit the Usos splash on Ryder to steal the victory. So, okay, they won, but they barely did nothing. Revival are Raw Tag Team Champions again, but they're probably going to give them back to the Usos. And then the Usos and Viking Raiders, which doesn't sound like a bad idea, will probably have a match for the Raw Tag titles maybe at SummerSlam. All right, that won't be a bad idea. But once again, how did either of those teams, the Usos and the Revival, earn this opportunity? I don't know. But again, they should have had the Viking Raiders. Seth Rollins backstage saying there's a lot of losing here tonight, but if he's proven anything, it's that he's always ready. He's ready for Brock anytime, for Corbin at Stomping Grounds, and for Sami and Kevin tonight. We didn't have the Firefly Funhouse where we start off with Bray Wyatt nailing a sign that says "Abandon all hope, ye who exit here." And then he sees rambling rabbits swatting at Mercy with a fly swatter. He insists he's not food, but Mercy says it's the law of the jungle. But Bray suggests they let fate decide and hold his ears while the screen flashes with dark imagery. He then goes to the floor to the rabbit, who says he doesn't feel safe and wants to expose what's really going on here. But Bray grabs him and by the head and yanks him off the table before throwing him into the floor and smashing him with a mallet. Pulls up the rabbit in a puddle of blood on the floor and then checks him before taking a sample of his blood and declaring it delicious. So once again, kind of that bipolar feel. Turns out this has been sponsored by Rambling Rabbit's Bohemian Breakfast Spread. You see it, and Bray, of course, does the usual outro about letting him in and whatnot. So once again, can we trust him? Can we not trust him? So yeah, a little dark there, smashing Rambling Rabbit. Rest in peace again, Rambling Rabbit. But of course, now we had that once again was sponsored by Rambling Rabbit's Bohemian Breakfast Spread. So I guess that's competition to Bootios. They make sure you ain't booty. But then we got our main event: Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. John Cone was the referee, but Sami Zayn was the special guest outside referee. Before the match starts, he has to inspect, make sure Rollins doesn't have any knives and whatnot. And the match happens, but I just did not care. Watching this match and seeing Sami obviously just stop Rollins every second for every little thing he did to Owens, which is taking me out of this. And made me realize, especially after watching, his matches on NXT takeovers and whatnot, I miss the old Sami Zayn. This heel Sami Zayn, yes, is great on the microphone. He's basically exactly what Dolph Ziggler's been like ever since he turned heel. I mean, except for his brief, title runs last year, but just a heel that obviously they want the fans to hate and want to see him get beat up all the time and just eat the pins all the time. Because after, of course, Zayn got too involved in the match and Rollins did a suicide dive meant for Owens, but he also ran into Zayn. Sami got involved and, forced disqualification, which Rollins then beat down Sami Zayn. Corbin tried to come out and, attack Rollins, but Sami scared off Corbin, who just watched as Sami literally did the same thing that Brock Lesnar did to Sami Zayn. Literally just whooped the hell out of Sami Zayn. And again, I'm just sitting there just like, man, I miss you, Sami. I miss the real Sami Zayn. The actual Sami Zayn who, was that ultimate underdog character who actually felt like he was something special to watch. And again, now he's just a complete joke that once again just literally just eats the pins. That's all he does. They have no long-term plan for him. They could have done the right thing, given him the Money in the Bank contract, but nope, they didn't. So, and that's Raw, guys. Let me check the polls on Twitter. I got to pull it up on my laptop. I also pull it up on my phone just to see what grade people are giving Raw this week. Once again, it was a little bit better than recent weeks, but it was nothing special at all. And my phone's taking forever to load Twitter. Any second now. All right. So we've got, for what grade would you give Raw? I did choose how bad was Raw. But so we got 5 votes. 20% said A, 40% said B, 20% said C, and 20% said D or lower. Well, some people enjoyed it, but I gave it a D+. D+ is a couple of small things I enjoyed. Once again, just a bunch of hot garbage for the most part. Tyler says that Stupid Grounds is going to suck, yes, and bring back the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw if Triple H is in charge with no wild card, brand pay-per-views, GM for Raw and SmackDown. Yep, and you've mentioned this several times, but thank you again for the reminder. And guys, that's going to be it. What are your thoughts on Raw? D+. Leave thoughts on the comment section below. Slap a like on my videos, subscribe or comment on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Mayor on 3. Be out for our next TakeOver review, which will be TakeOver San Antonio, and also tomorrow will be SmackDown Live at 2:05 live review. So until then, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, make sure to check out my WrestleMania Experience documentary as well in the description box. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.